Strangers from Hell, You Are Hell of Who? Part 1. Strangers from Hell by Kim Yong-ki is a psychological horror webtoon. This is one of the most loved webtoon series in Korea, and has an extremely high rating score. At that time, Stranger from Hell was turned into a multi-episode K-drama, with the participation of many famous Korean actors. Stranger from Hell is about a young man named Yoon Jong-woo. Synopsis of content and characters. Stranger from Hell is about the main character Yoon Jong-woo, a 25-year-old man, who came to Seoul to look for a job after hearing a recommendation from a college friend named Jae-ho. In a modern city like Seoul, Jong-woo was a poor man, so he could only rent a shabby room less than 10 square meters in an old dormitory. This dormitory gave him a cold, scary feeling and it seemed impossible to get out of it. Then he also quickly realized that the scariest thing actually came from the strange neighbors living in this apartment building, who gave both Jong-woo and the audience a creepy feeling. Room 201. Jong-woo has never seen this person's face clearly, except for one eye with many whites. Room 203. Always appearing with white eyes, he once commented that Young-woo is a very fresh piece of meat. Room 204. A guy who looks messy and stinks. He had intended to stab Jong-woo to death in the early days but failed. Room 206, looks harmless at first glance but actually resembles the people in rooms 203 and 204. Room 205, the room is considered cursed at this hostel because no one has ever been safe while staying here. The first is Ahn Young-hee, a gruff gangster but the most ordinary person. After a fight with the young man in room 203, Ahn Young-hee mysteriously disappeared. The next tenant is Sok Sung-yoon, a gentle young man who looks like Jong-woo. Because of his gentle personality, Sung-yoon was brutally tortured by the people in this hostel. Sung-yoon was also the one who discovered Ahn Young-hee's body in the refrigerator, so he was detained by them. Finally, it was the landlady of this monstrous inn, who always appeared with wide and haunted eyes. From the day he stayed here, Jong-woo was often tormented by strange nightmares in a confusing way. The guy once intended to move, but then had to give up because he did not have enough money. Having lived in such a bizarre environment for a long time, Jong-woo also realized that he was gradually changing, and began to act uncontrollably. See you in the next video.